the growth of the world population has increased dramatically since the 1800s and is projected to reach almost 11 billion by the year 2100. The pink line represents the annual growth rate of the world population, which peaked in 1968 at 2.1%. This rapid population growth in the 20th century put extremely pressure on the natural resources, ecosystems, and infrastructure, driving the need for more sustainable practices in agriculture, energy, housing, waste management, and every other sector. The data in this chart is closely tied to the challenges and priorities of sustainable development today. Sustainable development calls for balancing human needs with planetary boundaries and transition to sustainable economy. In this transition to a sustainable economy, companies play the key role, and governments and all the other stakeholders recognize that. For the companies, sustainability is no longer just about image or compliance. It's about resilience, innovation, and long-term success. Wolfgang, could you please, next slide? And the next one. Yes, the sustainability, on the other hand, the sustainable practices are becoming a key measure of companies' credibility and future readiness. And as the projects are temporary organizations that realize every change in company, projects and their management are considered a way to sustainability today. So Sarah, I give you over to you now.
Yes, thank you very much, Lana. Can you hear me correctly?
Sorry?
Yes.
Yes, perfect.
Yes,
fantastic.
continue.
So, good morning, good afternoon, everybody, depending on where you're sitting in the world. I'm Sara Bossi. I am a sustainability manager in a multinational company. And let me just start with a simple statement, which is now understood to be true, which is sustainability requires change. And it's not little incremental changes that we implement here and there to just patch the holes. It's really systematic changes to move from the way we produce, consume, and think and live today towards a new type of world, basically. And Lana is absolutely right. The way we deliver change is through projects. Projects are the catalyst of change, are the way companies move from position A to position B without disrupting the day-to-day operations. And companies are increasingly aware that they need to move towards sustainability. Now, granted, this awareness may change depending on where the company is located in the world, how big the company is, the sector in which the company operates, different things. Yet, the companies that are aware are really working on embedding sustainability in their long-term goals, which is what I do, what sustainability officers do. Basically, we develop long-term plans towards sustainability and where we want to be there, saying, want to be in a different position in 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, whatever. However, what's really difficult is to then move these long-term plans into the way we deliver change, which is projects. So even if the ambition is there, even when the ambition is there, then the application oftentimes fails. And the reason for this, and please we can move to the next slide, is that there is oftentimes a lack of prioritization between projects that also consider sustainability. So we know we have the long-term sustainability goals, but how do we bridge the gap? How do we then make the goals operational? So short-term and project-oriented. Well, basically, we need to make sure that when we prioritize our projects, we also consider the long-term sustainability goals, which I and my colleagues spend a lot of time working on. And kind of to visualize this difference into how different projects are positioned in terms of sustainability goals, we developed with this, it's a simple matrix. So on the vertical axis, you see the contribution to the financial goals. And then in the horizontal axis, you see the contribution to the sustainability goals and long-term sustainability strategy. Now, if we start from the bottom left, you see irrelevant projects. These are projects that don't have a positive impact neither on the financial return nor on the sustainability plan. To be fair, these projects these projects don't have any place in any portfolio. They are irrelevant as per the name. If you move up, then you see irresponsible projects. So these projects are projects that in the short term can give you a high revenue or high financial return, but they carry huge sustainability risks. They are absolutely not aligned with where the company wants to be in terms of sustainability. They might put the company in a bad position in the long run. For example, launching a new product that is very good for revenues, but is made with, let's say, harmful materials, might be good for a few years, but then will expose the company to huge risks in terms of legal, reputational actions in the long term. Now, if you move a little bit to the middle of the matrix, you see stagnancy projects. These projects are fine. They don't deliver a high content in terms of return of investment or revenues, nor on sustainability. They are often found in portfolios because they keep the company going, but they don't really do anything innovative. They don't really move from where you are towards a more sustainable supply chain. Now, on the bottom right side, you see what we call green projects. These projects are fantastic for one dimension of sustainability. They are aligned with the sustainability goals, but they don't bring benefits whatsoever on the economic dimension, which means that these projects are only fluffy. They are good to put in a marketing campaign. They are good to put in a sustainability report, but they're also the ones that are often scrapped when the company then has to tighten the budget because there is no getting back for the company. One example could be having a fantastic, let's say, biodiversity investment in a single low-scale market that cannot be scaled up because it's too costly. Yes, it's done 1 year, it's good for PR, and then the company moves on. The real goal is to move up. So to the real sustainable projects, the objectives should be what we call blue projects. It's not just sustainability by the project. It's not just the content of the project that is sustainable. It's also the way we do the project. And also it's good for money, basically. So the objective is now to have my sustainability goals and to move from left to right, but also up. Having a prioritization system that goes to look at the content, both from sustainability point of view, let's say ESG view, but also economic point of view, and also the content of the project, the way I execute the project should be sustainable. So how do we do that? Well, first of all, and you can go to the next slide, Wolfgang, is we need to ask ourselves, is sustainability by the project? So is the content of the project enough? If a project, let's say, is good for environment, one dimension of sustainability, is that enough? Well, no, it's not enough. It's not enough because then it's just sustainability by the project. But what about the sustainability of the project? What about the structures that they have there, the tools, the impact of the project itself? It's not just the outcome that matters, but it's also anything that happens within the phases of the project, first of all. So no, sustainability by the project is not enough. And you can go to the next slide. And B, it's also looking at the holistic way. So it's not just green, it's not just one dimension, it's all the dimensions. We need to consider also social dimension and economic dimension to make sure that our companies, yes, move towards a more sustainable world, but also keep existing. And this kind of requires a change in the way project managers approach their tasks. And so to speak a little bit about that, Lana will take back the speech, and she will just give you an insight of what this means, moving to from green to blue, what this means for actual project managers and project professionals, and also what are the tools and activities that are there that can support you in this transition, basically. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. What does everything that we said till now mean for you as a project manager? Wolfgang, next slide, please. Firstly, it means that your role isn't just to deliver projects on time and on budget. You are shaping outcomes that affect people, planet, and long-term value. Whether you are building infrastructure, launching products, or managing digital services, your decisions can have ripple effects far beyond the project lifecycle. So IPMA recognizes sustainable development as the most important project in human history. Next slide, please. And try to make significant efforts to integrate sustainability more systematically into project management practices and standards. That's why our special interest group ESG was established around 1.5 years ago. And we all in our team are truly convinced that young professionals will play a pivotal role in driving the shift toward more sustainable project management practices now and especially in the future. Next slide, please. We first met at the IPMA Congress in Seville in September 2023, where we began developing our activities, strategy, and defining our milestones. A year later, our authoring team presented the Sustainable Project Management ICB4 reference guide at the World Congress in Cape Town in November last year. Next, you can show the next slide. This reference guide sets a new standard for sustainable project management, and it reflects holistic view on sustainable project management, which includes insights from the academic development of the topic in the past 15 years. It integrated the Green Comp framework for sustainability competencies for the project managers and is consistent with the ICB4. In our first year, our SIG CSG group some members of our team held 3 webinars, 2 or 3 keynote speeches at the different events, and at World Conference in Cape Town we had 3 presentations and 2 workshops, one of which was held for young crew members who was there. We also conducted research on sustainable competencies. Next slide, please, Wolfgang. So the research on sustainable competencies among project managers and our work on raising awareness about ESG issues and sustainability in project management is ongoing. The release of a reference guide was just the beginning. What we are planning to do in 2025 is, next slide, please. Our handbook, the IPMA Guide on Sustainable Project Management, will be finished this year, and we have already received first reviews. And I just need to take this opportunity to gratefully thank the entire author team, my colleagues Sarah, Gilbert, and Peter, for all the effort, time, and energy that we were involved in this in writing this book. Based on this initial version of this handbook, pilot training on sustainable project management will take place at the end of this month in Milan, Italy, with the first group of participants taking the certification test at the end of June. Also, 2 young crew members will be joining us, and we are very happy about that. We also expect the official launch of the handbook and certification in September at the International World Congress in Berlin. And what are our expectations and plans for the future? Next slide, Wolfgang, please. We will we are hoping to roll out the certification in sustainable project management, integration of sustainability into other standards, and even stronger promotion of sustainability in project management. Of course, we are counting heavily on you, young project management professionals, and you are all more than welcome. Now I leave you to my young colleagues, Sarah and Christian, to continue this webinar. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Lana, for this impressive speech. Yeah, we come to the next point. We have Christian here as a young crew member doing some research on that, and we will probably have some questions to him. I already get one question here from the audience, but first we will do the interview with Christian. Christian, just a question. Tell us about your research And tell us, please, as I understand, you explore the viewpoints of sustainable project management in the young project management population, and you just try to find out the level of implementation of sustainable project management in the projects. What are the results about that? What can you tell us?
Thank you, Wolfgang, for the question. First, let me just wish you all welcome. Yeah, we made a research which was practically made by 5 co-authors, and 2 were from your ESG team. So it was a survey-based research. We had 3 sections. So first section was about the implementation of sustainable project management principles, then the application of triple bottom line aspects in project management process and in product development, and then about the stimuli factors, or you could say motivational factors. So what motivates young people to apply SPM as an approach? And just to tell you about the results, so we had 52 valid answers. Mostly they were young project managers. Also, we have some other project management positions, such as portfolio managers or project management assistant or PM trainers. We also had people from various industries, so engineering, construction, events, banking, and we also had certified and non-certified professionals. So I could say that we had a pretty good distribution of people of the projects. Our respondents were mostly 32 to 35 years of age with 7 to 9 years of experience in project management. So I just needed to tell you a bit about the research, and now I can tell you about the first thing. So whether they perceive sustainability as an important issue, I would say the result was yes. So the scale on this question was 1 to 5, and the average was 3.95, so almost 4. So young people or young project managers feels that sustainability is important, and they and that they should implement it in their practice. But also, I would want to emphasize one other thing. They also answered on the question that they perceive their companies have significantly lower or place significantly lower importance on sustainable project managers. So it turned out that they think that they care more about sustainability than the companies for which they work. And I think that this discrepancy is first of, I would say, interesting result of our research.
Okay, thanks. But what's about the young PM project management professionals? Did they perceive sustainability as an important issue? What are your expectations?
So that was exactly my point. So they perceive it as important, but they don't use it that much. We also asked the question whether they know what is sustainable project management. And also the answer on this question was, well, we know something. The average was 3.3, but they didn't know like a lot of methods and tools. So I think that we also have a bit of a problem with knowledge and competencies on sustainable project management within young PM professionals.
Can you tell us a bit about the level of implementation? Are there any key points? What is the status?
Yeah, so basically we asked about the implementation of SPM in 2 ways. So first was through 9 questions, which was basically 9 principles of SPM, which we found in literature. So basically I can tell you, so the mostly used principle was taking care of stakeholder interest. So this was like the mostly used, and the least used principle was holistic approach to SPM, meaning that addressing all aspects of sustainability in one project. So this was like the least used principle of SPM. And this is... Sorry? Yeah.
Okay, please continue. Thank you.
No, I just want to say that this is basically the first part. So we saw here that we have some principles which are pretty well implemented, but we also have some principle of SPM which are not so well implemented in the practices.
Sorry, can you explore to us why it is like this?
Okay, yeah. So we didn't have exact questions on why did you answer this, but we have some feelings. So we have a lot of questions, and I think that our sample followed some existing research, meaning that people often say that in one project it is hard to apply all three aspects of triple bottom line, or that it is hard to address simultaneously in one project economic, environmental, and social sustainability. And that's why I think that they graded this application of this principle as the lowest. Also, we can say that sustainability in that sense is a bit of a paradoxical notion, or at least that is the notion from the literature. But I would say that only if we look short term. So if we look short term, okay, maybe it is hard to address all the things. But if we observe, let's say, mid to long term, then I think that we can manage projects which are really sustainable in all of its aspects.
Thanks. Can you tell us a little bit about the motivation of young project managers to implement that? To implement sustainability project management methodologies?
So we have these questions, and this was like the rank-based questions. So we had 12 statements, and they needed to rank the statements, and we wanted to explore what do they feel as the most important motivational factor to use SPM as their approach, and what is the least important. And I can give you the results on this type of questions. So we had the motivational factor. I find it important that future generation can live a normal life. This was like the highest rated factor, which was like really a nice result for me, because I saw that our sample was also in line with some other research, meaning that people want to preserve the good conditions for the future generation, and I think that it's very important. Also, the second most important was, I find it important that we treat the planet Earth well, which is also kind of a nice answer. But just to emphasize one thing, that for this second highest ranked stimuli factor, we also have a really large standard deviation, meaning that some people ranked it as a first or second most important, so very high on their agenda, and some people ranked it very low. So this is also interesting for us, because we see that you have people which are intrinsically motivated to use the SPM, and you also see the people which are not so intrinsically motivated, and the people who was not intrinsically motivated put the motivational factor such as key people wants me to use that, or clients wants me to use SPM approach. So we see that we also have people which are extrinsically motivated, and I think that this also follows some already known results from the literature, that we have 2 or 3 types of people. So some are intrinsically motivated, some are not.
Okay, thank you. Did you have any publications about that, or do you planning to publish it?
Yeah, actually, this research was published 1 month ago in Dubai on the research conference.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, so of course we had a lot of other interesting results, not just that. So we also tried to have some subgroups and then try to explore, do we have some differences in the viewpoints between other subgroups? So I think that we also have some other really interesting results which I didn't present here now. So everyone who wants to have a follow-up or who wants to learn more, of course, they can ask a question now or they can read an article. So we have this one publication, and we also have plans for future research, because I think that this is like really important field of research, and it has pretty big research gaps because we don't know a lot of things. So we see that we have a gap in competencies of young project managers, so they don't know what is sustainable project management. So I think that also we can do a bit of a research in that area. Also, some of the research told us that the context is really a big point. So in some industries, in some companies, people do know what is sustainable project management, and maybe they have some idea on how to implement it, how to apply it. But we also see some more traditional industries which don't have such a positive viewpoints on SPM, and they also don't have big knowledge about this. So I think that for future we have like a wide field of topics to explore.
Okay, that was just a question of Lotta. Where's the name of the paper in the journal? And it's already published. And from Yannis too, where you can find this research. So if you have the speech in Dubai, that means that sooner or later it will be available about the IPMA website, right?
Yeah, I think that each research conference from the IPMA has conference proceedings, so has a book with all of the articles. So I think that in a couple of months we should probably have all the articles from the conference. So this article also.
Okay. So I think to Lotta and Yannis, please check it with the website. So sooner or later you can just probably download it from there. And there was another question of Yannis. It's about how about the companies are willing to invest in blue projects, because as we see, American President Trump doesn't care about ESG and sustainability. What's your opinion? Maybe also can give this question to Sarah.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, thank you very much for your question. It is absolutely a key question of these weeks, months, I would say. What we are seeing is that the companies that realize the importance of sustainability, they are just doing this quietly now, meaning that they are scrapping the big statements because that goes against the political environment in the US, but they're still doing the same things, simply avoiding to over communicate them, which in a way is also good, because over communication can also take away the attention from the real issue, which is implementing the projects. But they basically are continuing to do whatever they were doing before. So they're not really changing their strategy. They're just doing this in a bit more of a quiet way. Some other companies, however, the ones that were really not on board with these sustainable transitions, the ones that were just doing things because they were forced to by compliance reasons, then those ones are absolutely dropping the idea of sustainable projects and involving and in embedding sustainability in their operations. But I would say those are, first of all, the minority of the companies, and also those are the companies that were never going to put the effort anyway, because they were just doing the things because they were forced to. For the majority, companies are still doing the same things, just not communicating them, not being vocal about that.
Okay, Christian, you have any suggestion to that too, or Lana? You can hear me?
Yeah. Sorry, I was muted.
Okay, sorry.
Yes, I want to say that whether or not the US president priorities ESG today, but still financial institutions European or any other global partners, and even many US states and private company, as Sarah stated, will continue to investing in sustainable projects, in sustainable products. For us, for example, in construction industry, ESG is not a political trend. It's not a new trend. It's a business and for the future development and necessity. So clients, I think, in every other industry also expect, and younger generation demand this kind of the projects and this kind of the products. And frankly, this is the thing and the time and the place where innovation and efficiency are hitting. So yes, I think the many companies will realize that and will still continue to invest in these blue projects, not only green projects.
Okay, thanks. I got another suggestion together with a question from Leila. She said that mainstream frameworks like PMBOK, Prince2, and Agile primarily focus on delivering project value to the customer. It's still like this. While environmental, social, and governance, like all these ESG aspects, are still not systematically or operationally integrated into these models. And moreover, she said that even in PMBOK 7, which introduces a principle-based approach for sustainability elements, are presented more as aspirational values or guidelines. She said that it's rather not a clear actionable framework. Maybe to Christian, because you're doing research about that. How can this gap be addressed? What did you think? Have you any suggestions?
Well, I have actually some answer on this question, but I would say that I'm one of the reviewers of this new handbook that the ESG team is writing. So I had the chance to see, and I can tell everyone that this is like some really clear actionable things in this in that book. So this book is really, for me, great, because this is first time in which I get really a sense on how to implement some of the ESG things in practice, because mostly I also read about the guidelines. So I read also PMBOK, Prince2, ICB, but I didn't see anywhere so how to act or how to acquire competences to become, let's say, sustainable project manager. And in this book, which will be released soon this year, we have clear methods, we have clear tools, we have a lot of things which are really actionable. And I think that from that point, we can really raise our competences. And if we raise our competences in this particular field, then it will not be so hard to let's say, to present or to share the idea that ESG is something which can be implemented in project management, because now we have sense what is implementation of ESG in project management. So I would say that more of this kind of books, this kind of frameworks, and we will be in a really good place to start to, let's say, adopt more widely SPM as an approach for project managers.
Thanks, Christian. I hope this will give it. Yeah, please.
Sorry, Wolfgang. I wanted to say that you will need to wait a little bit longer, but only a little bit, to this handbook be published and released, because among every other, like there we defined some sustainable competencies needed for project managers today, but we also develop sustainable assessment model. It's looks like a wheel. It called WISE, and maybe Sarah could just in a few words say how we imagine that and what is our plans with this model. Actually, it will be a tool which will be available for everyone.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Lana. So, well, first of all, thank you, Leila, for your question. You're absolutely right. It's we speak a lot about sustainable project management. There are a lot of things that are being said in the last years about this. Still, we all lack guidance. And that's why there is such a gap, as Christian was saying, between, yes, I know it is important, but no, I have absolutely no idea on how to implement this. We in this working group with our great colleagues, we have been working on this for a while. And as Lana said, we are developing a few tools that we will be very happy to share in a few months' time to drive this. Basically, we have sustainability officers like myself, we have PM specialists, PM professionals, professors, whatever, so that we can develop some tools that are basically plug and play for project professionals, right? Because you don't necessarily know what the sustainability goals of your company are, or even if you do know them, maybe you don't know the specification of like what is that specific thing on the environment, what is circular economy, like what are the details, right? And how can I quickly assess my project and prioritize it, which is why we're basically developing this kind of wheel, which is very quickly to use and has a few examples so that you can see kind of a spider chart saying, okay, my project has good impacts here and there, bad impacts here and there, and it's neutral for some things. And then you can see the different spider charts and compare them, and then you know which one to prioritize in terms of prioritization. When you look at how I developed the project, so what is the sustainability of the project thing? As Lana said, we have, and also Christian, we in this working group have developed the addendum, sustainability addendum to the ICB4. So I would say, yes, PMBOK doesn't address sustainability that much yet, but wait for ICB5 from IPMA, and then you will see the correct link, like the actual link between, let's say, normal project management and the new sustainability-oriented approach to project management, basically.
So that would be a good reason to join the World Conference in Berlin in September.
Yes.
Definitely. Okay, because then the handbook probably is published, and you can discuss with us. We will probably be all there. So you can discuss with us some special aspects you might be having. Okay, any more questions from the audience? I did not have any yet here. Maybe from my point of view, just a question to all three speakers here, to Christian, Leila, and Lana, and Zara. To sum it up here, also for the audience, to what extent do you think there's already an understanding that, project manager and future project managers see themselves, let's call it, as designers of the future? You know that our colleague Gilbert already 2017 published this in a paper. I did it too a couple of years later. Did also some keynotes we had in Sevilla and other that we're talking about. Yeah, we had to think about, as project manager, also program directors, portfolio managers, that we are designing the future. What do you think about that? What's your opinion?
Yeah, maybe Christian, you can start as a young project manager.
Okay, sorry, I was listening to you partly, and partly I was reading the question. Was your question on how this field will be developed and what is the current level of understanding of SPM? Or
in some respect, it is. From my point of view, I think it's a kind of shift in the mindset. That let's say must as a kind of must that you just see more in the future. What results do your projects deliver to the people, to the humans?
I can tell you my current viewpoint on the development or on the implementation of this idea of sustainable project management, because I have this opinion that project managers often does not have a mandate to take care about sustainability, because their clients and people who are above them want just traditional project management success in term, you need to be fast, you need to deliver under the budget, and you need to take care that you don't have some scope creep or some extension of the scope. And I think that if you want sustainable project, then you need all of those. So sometimes you need to be more expensive, you need more time, and you need to extend the scope in order to acquire all the important thing, all the viewpoints, all the stakeholder, and in order to have long-term value, because I feel that sometimes short-term value or short-term success and long-term value are let's say in conflict. So you need to have a good balance, and you need to know that if you don't have let's say successful project output, that does not mean that you will not have a successful project because of the benefits and of the outcome of the project. So I think that we have shift in my construction industry to one thing which is called front end. So we need to spare a lot of more time in preparation of the project, and we need to try to implement it in earlier phases. And then if we prepare a really good project, and if we agreed on how will we deliver this project, then we have the chance to be really sustainable project managers. But it needs to be agreed at the early stages of the project with the project sponsor, with the project board, with the portfolio managers, and all of the people which are linked in this chain, so that when you deliver something, you are measured by the sustainable goals and not just by the iron triangle. Because I see that at least in my experience, people are really traditional in the sense you just need to be fast, you just need to give me these results quickly, and that's that.
Okay, thanks. It sounds like, according to Ben Fliffberg, think slow, act fast. That he's just writing about, from Oxford. He just said that. I think it's one of his heuristics. Okay, there's another remarking question from Lotta. And she is just said here the relation to the 13th IPMA Research Conference, which is only honoring 60 years of project management. And that was leading, by the way, into the future project management research ideas, this book of abstract. And this question is, what is the preceding book named?
Yeah, but the proceedings book is not still published. So
yeah, in September, probably.
Yeah, maybe earlier, but it will be published on the website, definitely. But
maybe Lotta, send the us or the organizers an email, and we will provide them as soon as they are published. We can share the link.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just, according to your question, Wolfgang, want to say that as I stated at the beginning of this webinar, projects help organizations to adopt, to grow, to innovate. And project managers are on the front lines of change because they are guiding through the projects, they are guiding organizations through uncertainty, managing risks, developing solutions that actually did not exist before. So project managers also bring together people, resources, goals, often across multiple and interdisciplinary teams and cultures. So in the future, their main assignment will be to achieve something bigger than any one individual could do alone, especially in this sustainable way. And they need to bring ideas to life to fulfill all of these sustainable requirements. So whether it's a new product, a sustainability program, a project, digital solution, digital transformation, project managers will need to guide the process from the start to the whole project management process, and especially to be sustainable and to be to fulfill all these requirements in the future after in the whole life cycle of the project. So this will be the main the main tasks for the future project management if we are talking on sustainability. And we are not talking here only on sustainable projects to develop and to manage sustainable projects, but to manage every project in sustainable way. That's our main idea and the mission among the IPMA and our team.
What Zara said, moving from green projects to blue projects.
Yes, but in the whole process, not only
in the whole process. Yes,
yeah.
not anything like that. Okay. Actually, I do not have more questions here from the audience. Maybe I'll give it up to you here to give some more aspects about sustainability, about what you think is necessary to do in the future.
I can maybe just share one more thing. So I also think that we need some widespread adoption of the SPM as an approach because one of the results from our research also showed when we divided project to bigger and smaller, that bigger project has a lot of more implementation of all of the SPM aspects and principles than the smaller project. So of course, if you have a really big project, if you have really a lot of stakeholder, and of course, if it's public money and public project, then you will also have the media. Everyone will pay attention. Then maybe you will try to implement some sustainable framework. You will try to comply with all of the things. But I think that it's also important that we lead smaller projects which are not so public, which cannot be viewed from a lot of people, that we also lead those projects in a sustainable way. So I think that we are in the need of some mind shift, and we are in the need of also the knowledge, but because one of the results was that people actually don't know what is sustainable project management, and we see as a question in this webinar. So okay, we have a lot of words, but we don't have tools, we don't have some actionable frameworks. So I feel that this is like the next step. So I think that now in this moment we need to work on this, and we need to develop it fast, and we need to try to teach and train a lot of young project management professionals to apply some of those tools. And when you know something and when you start to go in that direction, then I think that it will be much easier in the future just to add on some of the other things.
Okay, but when you said mind shift, Christian, then it probably means also that the top management need a mind shift too, to understand that, right?
Yes, absolutely. Maybe I can say something about it. So it is very much an issue of raising awareness and making top management, making sponsor aware of what we need to do and how we need to do it. As Christian said, research shows that while some companies really know that they need to embed sustainability, there is a little bit of gap in what the young generation perceives as a priority, as opposed to, let's say, the overall organization and the top management and older generations. So there is a little bit of gap there, which is something that needs to be bridged both at the corporate level, so by the sustainability officers, people like me, but also by the product managers that need to be vocal, which is why, I mean, the young crew, but in general, the younger generation of product managers has this big opportunity, but also big responsibility of requiring that this becomes the new normal and requiring that certain new tools and techniques and practices and approaches are applied to projects. Because of course, change is difficult and it's not always welcome. So it's not that easy to move from A to B. And the younger generation is kind of the one that carries this possibility and this burden to move things forward, basically.
Okay, thank you. So it's probably necessary that IPMA also goes to the top management and tells them what to do, huh? In some respects.
Yes.
Or what's necessary to do. So this can be our next task. I don't know. We will see.
Yeah, absolutely. I see also somebody in the chat saying we must educate the owners in general. Absolutely, we must. And sometimes it's tough because it's also an issue of stakeholder management. When the stakeholder does not perceive the urgency or certain things, then it becomes very much an issue of communication and managing the relationship to make sure that certain principles are not compromised upon. But again, it takes time, it takes awareness, and it's a process for every project manager, project professional, and company in general. I mean, the perception of what is relevant and what is urgent has changed a lot over the last 20, 30 years, and will continue to change as we see the effects of whatever has happened before us. So it is a journey that we will have to basically go through as professionals and as companies and as individuals, ultimately.
So to see it as a kind of, let's say, philosophical aspect, you had a kind of mission to do that.
Sorry, I lost you a little bit. Say again.
Sorry, what?
I just wanted to say that we have 2 more questions now came up in the chat. So for non-members, where can we get some more info on sustainable project management? Maybe Lana,
Yeah,
Sarah.
I see it now.
Yeah, maybe Lana, if you want to say a little bit on.
Yes, but I didn't understand. Not members of IPMA, or?
Yeah, I would say. I think.
But you can at the IPMA website you can buy, or also on Amazon and everything. There's our reference guide, and also this handbook will be also available to buy. So, or you can just follow our I don't know, website, LinkedIn, and any other social media news, because we are very often organizing the webinars or some other events, also like Congress, research conference, and something else that could be very interesting on this topic. From the point of IPMA, so we need to provide you this kind of our information.
It was a question of Adil. For non-members, get more info. You can also go to the IPMA website, to the webinars from last year. We had last year 3 about ESG, and you can download them and see them. We had this year 1, I think in February, with Gilbert and Ron from Netherlands. And you probably can receive some more information also about what happened in Sevilla and other places. So you can download that and just get some more suggestions about that. Yeah, and last question here from Leila: how can organizations support a collective mind shift towards sustainability without triggering resistance or culture clash among project stakeholders? Yes, it's a big question. We just had points of discussion for that.
Yeah, I mean, it would take a long time to address this, but I would say in general, 2 things. One is, yes, absolutely. When there are different cultures and different points of view in a project, then it becomes a bit more difficult. From my experience, the best approach is not going all in. As I said, it takes time to raise awareness. You cannot have an organization that has 0 knowledge about sustainability. You cannot develop a 60 points sustainability strategy. It will absolutely generate clashes, and it will just be rejected. It needs to be little by little, small commitments at a time, and really showing that it's not a trade-off. Sustainability is not a trade. Let's say environmental or social sustainability is not a trade-off with economic sustainability. It is really something that can support economic sustainability, and it also is something that provides opportunities. So really highlighting those aspects, it's usually what works with stakeholders, rather than just saying, well, this is the law, this is compulsory, you have to do it. It's more about showing the pros and the absence of cons that can help in develop this transition. And then again, moving little by little, rather than just completely changing the organization from scratch, because that also is not viable. And at the end, that is also not sustainable.
Yeah, if I can also comment just one short thing. So I think that also it is not a trade-off. So in construction industry, we have like, let's say, really big financial values of the project, but you're only thinking about the how much construction phase cost you. But if you're thinking at the life cycle cost, so you will need to repair the building, you will need to have a lot of construction works through the product life cycle, and then if you are willing to pay a bit more in the construction phase to use better materials or something, then you will have economically better results if you are looking at the product life cycle. So basically, I would also say that it is not a trade-off. So we just need to present a bit more of the pros and have maybe different measurement system in place, and then we will see that sustainable way of doing things is actually really logical way of doing things.
Okay, we just had 1 minute left, so then the system will be shut off. So yeah, I'd like to thank you to Sarah and Lana for presenting, for Christian for answering big questions, and thanks to the audience for joining this webinar. Yeah, and as I said before, probably in 10 days, 12 days, you can download it if you just want to see it again. I think the discussion was quite fruitful. And so thanks for joining, and see you somewhere on this planet. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank you
very
very
much.
much. Thank you, Wolfgang.
Bye-bye.
Bye.